listeners, welcome to our channel again. We'll be continuing with our series on Mene Tekel. Today we're taking part 3, and we will be thinking in the light of a sub theme living on the edge of time. As we continue to look at Mene Tekel, the handwritten on the wall, today we want to look at a topic called Take Note of This. While men will misplace priority in the last days. Today, you will agree with me that, especially believers, many people have misplaced priority and are struggling to make ends meet against the purpose of God and may be caught up unaware. But before we dive into this quickly, I want us to read from the Bible. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 to 4. It reads, "But mark this, that in the last days perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God." I beg we stop there. Having established the fact that we are in the end time and that God never wants us to live in ignorance, this is why we have decided to journey through scriptures to understand the times and find out what God expects from us, especially that we are saying that there's a handwriting on the wall. Now you see that today many people are expecting much more than they should, and it has helped a lot of people to go off board, off track, off guard. When parents or senior or mentors or friends tell you to take note, the first response is to be very attentive to what they will say afterwards. Now, if this topic is take note of this, then I expect you to do likewise. You need to take note of the following. This knowledge will reduce your frustration and discouragement in people, especially as we live on the edge of time. Now, but quickly, as I look at, take note of this from our text, 2 Timothy 3 1 to 4, I will begin by looking at verse 1. And in verse 1, what I want to be talking about is knowing the time. Quickly, I want to let you know that the times are perilous times, dangerous times, difficult times. It will be terrible mostly for believers who do not want to compromise. I don't think I need to explain so much about this. It is obvious that even a suckling baby will tell you that the times are not funny. Never in the history of man have we ever had times of stress and stress-related health challenges that take lives of people like today. Today, you will agree with me that the challenges around us, let me talk within our locality. There are pandemic, health challenges, insecurity, poverty. The worst of all today, having power has become another thing. The Lord will help us. Now, instead of being carried away, we should understand that these are the things that must happen today because this is what the scripture had told us. And this is the times that we are in. In 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1, it says, "Now the Spirit expressly says that in the latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons." If you understand this time, you will agree with me that the time that we are in, people are falling away. People that stood in the faith before are falling away and are being carried away by deceiving spirits. With this, I want to quickly go to my second point. And in my my second point, I want us to cast our eyes on verse 2 and 4. Now, knowing the time and how to live on the edge of time, you will discover that people will love the wrong things. They will deify man. They will idolize themselves. They will be selfish, lovers of money, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Now, if you look at Philippians chapter 3, verse 18 to 19, for many works of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end, now they will love the wrong thing. This is what I'm trying to talk about in this second point. Now you discover that a lot of people, Christians, especially Christian leaders, this verse 19 of Philippians 3 may be a description of their true calling, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, whose glory is their shame, and who set their mind on earthly things. I wish I can say more, but I don't have the pleasure of time. And with this, I'll go to my third point quickly. Come back and let's look at verse 2 of 2 Timothy 3. They will have a self-evaluation that is faulty, thinking more of themselves than they ought, which will lead them to acting the wrong way. Now, what I am looking at in point number 3 is that they will think the wrong thing. In point number 2, they love the wrong things. But in point number 2, they think the wrong things, because that will lead us to point number 4, where they will act the wrong way. Now, but looking at thinking the wrong way, in verse 2, and from what I have just tried to spell out, in their wrong thought, they accrue to themselves vain glory. You see that everywhere. Today, the church is at the forefront of selling titles, even to people that the society know that have questionable character. The Lord will help us. I want to quickly go to my fourth point, which is they will speak the wrong words, they will act the wrong way. Verse 2 and 3. Now in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34, it reads, O generation of vipers, how can you, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. They will be boasters, blasphemers, and slanderers. They will act the wrong way. This is what we are seeing here. Today, people are arrogant. People are greedy. People are wicked. Come to talk of this insecurity we have today. You wonder what type of mind people have. An in-law goes and betray his father-in-law for kidnappers to come and kidnap him and give him a peanut in the name of compensation. Sometimes some of these things are like unimaginable things. Blasphemers, those who speak impiously of God and sacred things, and injuriously of men. I used to wonder some of our colleagues, when they start trying to exegete the Bible, they eisegete it. And by trying to make some things look more than they should, and they downplay the real thing. The Lord will deliver us. They are devils incarnate who go about rendering false accusation against good people. For this is a principal work of the devil. I just think I want to leave this. If you look at 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3, it says, knowing this first, that scoffers will come in the last days, walking according to their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers slept, all things continue as they were from the beginning. Before I go to my next point quickly, brethren, today there are many people that are saying, look, let us just live. Life is all about us. There's no tomorrow. There's no heaven. And they say this even in church, blasphemers. Brethren, you need to be careful. There's a handwriting on the wall, and the die will soon be cast. And it will be too late if you don't do something now. Lastly, they act with the wrong passion. Now, I want to be particular about that word, passion. May God help us. They will be disobedient to parent, unthankful, unholy. In verse 3, it very clearly states that they are unloving, unforgiving, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good. All of these are the descriptions of people today. And what I want to be particular about here is they do this act of wickedness with passion. May God help us. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, even in the household of God. They will leave the wrong priorities, misplace their priorities. In conclusion, if we see this in the light of the happenings outside the church, then we'll be missing it all together. Though most of these things will be common outside the church, but as a sign of the last days, they will become prevalent among believers. You will have to be sincere with yourself. Where are you in this? I pray that the Lord will help us to heed His word, especially that we know that there is a handwriting and that time is not on our side. Please, before you leave our channel, do well to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, share to as many as you are led to. It may be just the needed video. Thank you. Remain blessed.